Welcome in, everybody, to the Farzy Show. My name is Marc Farzetta here at the Steven Singer Studios. We got one thing to do on a Football Friday. We got one goal on this Football Friday. One goal. And I'm going to harken back to that little Phil Mickelson, Tom Brady, and those other guys that played too, Peyton Manning, Tiger Woods. We're going to harken back to that. And if you remember this little soundbite from Tom Brady when he was asked about the Atlanta Falcons, he offered another soundbite, and it was regarding the Philadelphia Eagles. Here's Tom Brady 2 years ago.
These aren't the Falcons you're playing against. Tiger's a pretty good closer.
Same colors, though. Yeah. It's the Eagles that I cringe, bro, not the Falcons.
It's the Eagles that I cringe, bro. So with one thing, one request from the Philadelphia Eagles, other than just win, baby, make Brady cringe. Make him cringe come Sunday at around 4:30. Around 4:30. Make him cringe because he loses to the Philadelphia Eagles. That is what I want. Want to make Tom Brady cringe. We had a lot of fun with that back when he actually said it, and it popped in my brain. Somebody actually retweeted it to me. Somebody quote tweeted it back to me. Hey, remember this? And I went, very good. Make Brady cringe. We're going to start the show off today by telling that we got Natalie Egenoff on the show. She's going to be joining us talking about all things Philadelphia Eagles. She's also going to be talking to us about a little movie that we happen to love and adore, a little movie called Wayne's World, so we'll get to that. But yes, it's an all-Eagles show today. We got a lot of things we want to get to with that. We're going to start it off with how they are going to win this game. Now, you have heard me say this throughout the week. The Philadelphia Eagles need to get to Tom Brady, and every single time a team plays Tom Brady, you say the same things over and over and over again. You say, you got to make sure you get to Tom Brady. If you can make him uncomfortable, all that stuff. And it gets said every single time, and it's the thing that's the easiest said thing but not done thing in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles, folks, we all know they don't blitz. We all know that's something that a little bit of a rarity for Jonathan Gannon and his defensive philosophy. Right? However, let's just take away the idea that they don't blitz for a second. Let's just talk about whether or not they get home. Now, Jim Schwartz rarely blitzed, yet, believe it or not, the Philadelphia Eagles were usually ranked in the top 5, top 10 when it came to getting to the quarterback because Jim Schwartz had a built-in aggression with his wide 9 defensive front along the line of scrimmage. Jonathan Gannon does not have that, does not do that, won't do it in this game. That's not all of a sudden going to change. The Philadelphia Eagles are the second worst sacking team in the NFL. They have the second fewest sacks in the NFL. So as much as we like to say that common phrase of get after Tom Brady, get to Tom Brady, make him uncomfortable, move him around, be in his head, all that stuff. As much as you like to say that, I don't see it. I don't see it happening. I love Gary Cobb's idea of yesterday when he talked to us about how you got to make sure you're always rushing 5. You're freeing up Fletcher Cox that way. You're freeing up Javon Hargrave that way. You're allowing, basically man-to-man on that offensive line. Somebody's going to get beat. You're not going to allow a guy like Fletcher Cox to get double-teamed or Javon Hargrave to get double-teamed. You can allow Josh Sweat to get off the edge as well. Those are things you got to see. Jannard Avery was a name that G-Cobb mentioned to us yesterday. I love that idea. If you're going to send somebody, send Jannard Avery to try to get into that backfield. That's what you're going to have to see. You're going to have to see 5 men rushing. However, throughout the vast majority of this game, I think the Eagles are going to stick to what they have done all year long, especially because it's against Tom Brady. Now, Tom Brady put up a 130 passer rating against the Eagles in Week 6 in the previous matchup when the Eagles were all about sitting back and just letting them make plays and averaging about 11 plays per drive, not really getting any 3 and outs, not getting off the football field on third downs. So that was something that the Eagles had to improve upon. I don't think that they're all of a sudden, after that game, going to convert their philosophy of being aggressive. So for me, this game comes down to the defensive line. This game comes down to Fletcher Cox. If the Eagles are going to win this game, Fletcher Cox has to be an animal in the middle of that line of scrimmage. Fletcher Cox has to be the guy that the Eagles gave that contract to. He has to be, in my opinion, the MVP of this game. Jalen Hurts can play a good game. Jalen Hurts can play a great game. You can get Miles Sanders back. You can have Jordan Howard back. Those guys can play great. I expect nothing other than for those guys to play well in this game. But the guy that has to play almost outside his body and like hovering over the field looking down as if he's from the heavens, that has to be Fletcher Cox. He has to have a monster game if the Eagles are going to win this game. That's the number one guy to be looking at. He struggled throughout the season. You saw the Eagles start to get a little bit more aggressive. He started to play a little bit better. You need Javon Hargrave to play the way that he played in the first 5 games of the season when he had 5.5 sacks and he was 3rd in the league in sacks. That's what you want to see. That's what you need to see. This defensive line dominate. The number one reason for that is because you're not going to be able to send 5 every single play. You're not going to be able to do that. You're not going to be able to send 6 to try to get to Brady. They're going to pick it up. Again, Eagles, if they were that good, they wouldn't be second worst in the league at getting to the quarterback, regardless of how aggressive their defensive coordinator wants to be. But the other reason is because I do believe they are going to stick with what has been their bread and butter, which is sitting back, soft zone, soft man-to-man, and allowing the Buccaneers to get as many plays off as possible and hoping that somebody makes a mistake, somebody drops a ball. That's basically what they're going to be waiting for. So Brady overthrows one. Maybe they get to the quarterback and they force a bad throw. All that is going to be things. All those are things that Jonathan Gannon is going to be relying on in this game if they are going to win. But it's all going to come down to what a lot of these playoff games come down to: winning the line of scrimmage. Fletcher Cox has to be the MVP of this game if the Eagles are going to win it. Something else I'm going to be looking for in this game is whether or not Nick Sirianni is going to abandon the run. If the Eagles start out slow like they did throughout the last 4 starts of Jalen Hurts' season, and we gave you the numbers before, 3 points in his last 4 games in the first quarter, an average of 5 points per half in the first half through the last 4 games of Jalen Hurts as a starting quarterback. That's bad. That's really, really bad. So if you continue that trend, next thing you know, it's 14-0. It's 17-0, like it was in week 6. That's going to be bad. That's going to be really bad because there's no making up for that on the back end of it. The Eagles can't get off what they do well. They can't get away from what they do well. I said it throughout the entire season. When they started to run the ball and they had success, I was worried about them getting away from it. Oh, okay, we established that. That's good. Other teams think we can do it, think we will do it. We'll get away from it. Let's pass. They didn't do that. They stuck with what worked. They rode the horse that brought them, so to speak. They got to keep riding that horse, no matter what happens in this game early. If they get down 14, you can't just all of a sudden start passing the hell out of the football. You got to start running the football. The Eagles actually did that in the first game of the season, the first time they faced the Buccaneers in week 6. But again, the amazing thing to me is that Miles Sanders is the only running back that got a carry in that game. Jalen Hurts is the only other guy that ran the football in that game. So they can't get away from running the ball. They have to continue to throw the best version of themselves at the Bucs. And that comes down to running the football. Miles Sanders didn't have his hand up yesterday. It was like looking at pictures of Sasquatch, watching all the reporters tweet out pictures yesterday of Miles Sanders walking out of the NovaCare Complex bubble, no wrap on his hand. Oh, no, he looks good. Yeah. It looked like Sasquatch video, basically. So hopefully you get him back for this game. Hopefully you have Jordan Howard back in this game. Hopefully Boston Scott can help you out and Kenny Gainwell and all that. And hopefully you force something defensively that helps turn the tide of this game. You got to win that turnover battle. That's obvious. You can't give them any more chances than they're going to get anyway. So you can't turn the football over. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders got to hold on to that football. Same thing with Jordan Howard. Same thing with the receivers. You can't turn the football over. You got to be smart on special teams. Hopefully you get a big return and you put your offense in short field. There's a lot of things that hopefully fall into place here. But the 2 things that I think the Eagles can control, one is Fletcher Cox and how he plays. The other comes down to how this offense is going to play, the game calling, the play calling from Nick Sirianni. Running the football, not getting away from that and still being the best version of yourself and putting your players, get this, how novel, in the best position to make plays. And the way you're going to do that is by exploiting the hell out of your run game. Yeah, I don't want to hear how great the Bucs are at running the football or stopping the run. The Panthers put up big runs on them yesterday or Sunday. So you can do the same thing with the stable of running backs that you have and most likely will have going into this game, considering getting people back healthy. So that's what I'll be looking for in this game. Look a lot from Jonathan Gannon and his scheme. I'll be looking a lot at Fletcher Cox on the defensive line. I'll be looking at how they're running the football. And then the number one thing I know everyone's going to be looking at that has mass appeal, because watching a defensive tackle doesn't exactly have mass appeal. But it's really going to come down to the guy we've been evaluating. Some might say harshly, I say honestly, all season long, and that's Jalen Hurts. How is Jalen Hurts going to play in this game? Is he going to be a guy that is too small for the moment? Good God, by listening to his press conference this week and listening to the way people talk to Devontae Smith, it seems like these guys have already been in the NFL for 10 years. With the way they talked to them about going to Alabama and playing in big games in Alabama. Hell, we played it for you yesterday. Jeff McClain asking Jalen Hurts about a big high school football game he had. And Jalen Hurts wanted nothing to do with it. Thought it was a legit question. Jalen Hurts didn't think so, I guess. And it seems like these guys have a lot of experience already in high-pressure situations. They just don't have them in the NFL. And one of the things Fletcher Cox talked about at his press conference yesterday was trying to convey to the young guys like Milton Williams, for instance, that everything is like when they say when you go into the NFL, oh, the game's a little bit faster, or the game's faster. When they say you go from preseason to the regular season, oh, it goes up another tick. Got to be careful. It'll get you. And then when they say when you go to the regular season to the playoffs, it's another tick faster. So you look at some of these rookies, how well are they going to be prepared? How well are they going to be prepared for playoff football? And hopefully they have a defensive coordinator, a head coach, and team leaders that are getting them as prepared as possible to not just play a playoff game, the first of their career, but also play against Tom Brady and the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the road. So those are all things I'll be looking for. And Jalen Hurts obviously is going to be one with mass appeal to whether or not people are going to be evaluating him for how he plays in the biggest game of his career. I know people want to talk about college. People want to talk about Alabama. People want to talk about Oklahoma. People want to talk about him coming in and when Devontae Smith was a freshman and leading that team to victory. Yeah, it's the NFL, baby. It's a whole different ballgame, quite literally. So we can't afford to have drop balls from his receivers like he did against Washington. You can't afford to not protect the football like he didn't do against Washington in that first game. And you can't certainly allow any erratic throws. You got to be on the money in this game. Eagles, if they're going to have a shot, we talked about Fletcher Cox dominating, but overall, the entire team has to play near perfect football. Nick Sirianni, Jonathan Gannon, their game plan has to be near perfect. Their execution has to be perfect if they're going to win this football game. And I'll give you my official prediction at the end of the show today. But this is something that stuck out to me from yesterday that I thought was really interesting. Two things from the press conferences yesterday. One, well, first off, Bruce Arians had nothing but amazing things to say about Jalen Hurts. It's the opposite of bulletin board material. It might make Jalen Hurts a little too confident going into this game, talking about how much he's improved throughout the season with his athleticism, how to use his athleticism, how to read a defense, his accuracy, basically his all-around quarterback play, how much he's improved. There's some great words from Bruce Arians. But Tom Brady also addressed the media yesterday. We'll get into some of that stuff. But let's start off with the Eagles here and Fletcher Cox. This is the thing that really stuck out to me from everyone that addressed the media yesterday. Fletcher Cox is a leader on this football team. And after that game against the Raiders, I think we found out how much of a leader on this team he is. Now, in the moment, it was kind of a situation of, does Fletcher even want to be here anymore? Should they get rid of him? Should he move on? Is it over here in Philadelphia for Fletcher Cox if the Eagles are sold and committed to Jonathan Gannon at this point? Because Fletcher Cox, if you remember, came out after that Raiders game and totally threw his defensive coordinator under the bus. I know I'm not getting home, but it's not my job to sack right now. I don't get paid to drop back in coverage. I don't get paid to stop the run. I get paid to get after the quarterback and that whole thing. And it's like, I'm pretty sure you get paid to stop the run. Anyway, it seems like since that game, Jonathan Gannon and Fletcher Cox did have a conversation. And it seems that Fletcher Cox and Nick Sirianni also had a lot of conversations about being a leader on this team and relating to the younger guys on this team and getting other guys to buy into he doesn't have a scheme, but he has a philosophy. Whatever Jonathan Gannon wants to do, Fletcher Cox trying to help guys buy into it. So yesterday, 2 days ago, Nick Sirianni had talked about how the leaders on this team really took on that leadership role more so than any team he's ever been on. When you talk about Jason Kelsey, what he does, when you talk about Lane Johnson, when you talk about Fletcher Cox, when you talk about Rodney McLeod, all these guys have really taken over that leadership role and embraced it more so than he's ever seen. So Fletcher Cox got asked that question yesterday about Nick Sirianni. How much of a leader has Nick Sirianni been, and how much of that is a factor in how good a coach Nick Sirianni is, and how much credit do you give to Nick Sirianni for being a great leader on this team? And here's how Fletcher Cox handled that conversation.
A lot. We talk about it all the time. I have conversations with him all the time, and he always asks me what's the biggest thing, that I take away from, actually just being a leader and just being like, one of the guys in the locker room that guys look up to. And I always tell them, the calmer I stay, coach, the calmer they stay. And I think, that those few words goes a long way. The calmer he stay, the calmer we stay. We always talk about those type of things and never try to let anything never let a moment get too big for us where, we get out of character. You just stay calm and the guys around you stay calm, and I think it all works out.
You gotta never panic is what I get out of that. And even when you start out the season 2-5, you can't ever panic. And I'll say this, the only time I thought this team was about to hit that panic button was listening to Fletcher Cox's press conference after the Raiders game. And I'm like, uh-oh. If Fletcher's this vocal about it in the media, what's he saying in the locker room? And I give a lot of credit. When things start to spiral out of control and you have your highest paid player, a leader on the unit that was supposed to be the most dominant on this football team going into the season with this defensive line, when he comes out and he's talking about how he's not paid to do this or he's not paid to do that, and it's not his job to talk to the defensive coordinator, yet he's a leader, that's the first ring of the spiral. And after that, it went away. That's amazing to me. With a young coaching staff, Jonathan Gannon hadn't done anything in this league. Nick Sirianni hadn't done anything in this league. It's not like these guys were assistant coaches with Bill Belichick and helped them win Super Bowls or something like that. No, these are guys that came in here fresh meat, man. And they prevented this season from blowing up. Whether that was underdog speeches, whether that was flower pot speeches, whether that was playing Kobe Bryant's words to this team on a couple of different occasions, or whether that was letting the team leaders speak. This young coaching staff, I've said it before, Nick Sirianni is the most pleasant surprise of this entire season. Most pleasant surprise, more so than anybody. But what's really amazing to me is how much they kept this locker room together. All non-players. There's not one player there that's like keeping it together, like one older player, like a D'Amico Ryans in San Francisco, keeping a team together. It's not like that. It's a young coaching staff a young, inexperienced coaching staff keeping this team together. That is the most amazing thing to me about this entire year. And that when you lost to the Raiders in Las Vegas, this team came back to Philadelphia, came back to the NovaCare complex, a much different football team. And that's when the flower pot speech happened and let the roots grow and you got to grow strong. And this is the work down here. And this is what we could be up here. And I give them all the credit in the world. It was the perfect way to put it. Perfect way to put it. Before we get to my friend, our friend, Natalie Egenoff, I have one more thing I want to play for you guys, and it has to be from Tom Brady. Rob Motti, our old friend Rob Motti of the AP, gets on the Zoom press conference yesterday with Tom Brady. Now, look, we have a lot of fun with the fact that Tom Brady dropped the football, Nick Foles didn't, and that Tom Brady didn't shake the hand of Nick Foles. And, yeah, I don't like it. I'll be honest with you. It's not just one of those things that's just a talking point. It bothers me. Like, one of the gratifying things of beating Tom Brady is he's got to come out as the loser and shake your hand. That one time you could shake the greatest of all time's hand, but that day you got him. Movie reference. Little Giants. Remember when Rick Moranis goes in the locker room and he talks to his team? And he goes, you know what? If my brother, who he was coaching against, for those that haven't seen the movie, first off, shame on you for not seeing the movie. He goes, if my brother and I raced down that hill and I beat him one time out of 100, you know what that means? I beat him one time. That one time I beat him. Well, that one time Nick Foles beat Tom Brady. That one time, the greatest of all time, looked at you, shook your hand, said, hey, great game. You were the better man that day. You were the better player that day. That one time. So it resonates with us that Tom Brady didn't shake the hand of Nick Foles. And then if you remember, the Bears, actually last year it was, the Bears beat the Bucs in the regular season. Tom Brady didn't shake Nick Foles' hand then either. And remember Nick Foles looking in the sideline? Hey, where's Tom? Where's Tom? Tom just walked away. So Rob Body, our friend of the AP, back to the point, sorry. Rob Body goes to the Zoom press conference and asked Nick Foles, actually, there we go, and asked Tom Brady about Eagles fans and how they never forget anything, really. Here's Rob Body with the great Tom Brady at a Zoom press conference yesterday.
You just mentioned the Eagles are a team that don't let you off the hook. Their fans don't let you off the hook either. I know you talked about in the podcast the other night about they always remind you about that drop pass in the Super Bowl. I'm wondering, how aware are you? Those fans are obsessed with you not shaking Nick Foles' hand after that game. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not. I've shaken Nick's hand plenty of times, though. So I had a lot of respect for Nick. And, you know, I try to be a good sport as best I can. I know it doesn't always look like that because sometimes I get a little pissed out there. But for the most part, I try to be a good sport.
I don't believe you. Yeah, I don't know. He's been asked about it before, and the way he's responded to it was like he'll go shake Drew Brees' hand because he knows Drew Brees. You mean to tell me you don't know Nick Foles? Something about that Tom Brady guy. I don't know. I don't trust him. I don't trust him a little bit. I respect him as the greatest of all time, ever in anything. But I just don't like him. There's something about him. Something about his face. Just something about his face I don't like. And his attitude. How about that? And then he's never had a cup of coffee. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is. I don't like about Tom. No, it's a slew of other things. No. But that's it. We're in his head. So I'll close my football conversation with this. I will say, make him cringe. Make him cringe.
These aren't the Falcons you're playing against. Tigers are a pretty good closer.
Same colors, though.
And
It's the Eagles that I cringe, bro, not the Falcons.
Make him cringe, baby. Make him cringe. Before we get to my friend Natalie Egenoff, let me tell you about the great people at Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut. Steven has been in the love business for over 40 years in Philadelphia. You know why people say, I hate Steven Singer? Well, people that are about to get engaged hate Steven Singer because he makes it so easy to buy a diamond engagement ring. He takes away all the excuses. It's too expensive. I can't haggle. I don't know what I'm doing. Well, a real jewelry expert, fellas and ladies, will walk you through everything when it comes to buying the perfect diamond engagement ring. You'll get it at the perfect price, so no complaints there, and you'll get treated like family. No pressure, no haggling, hassle-free sales. You know who else likes to say I hate Steven Singer? Other jewelers. Why? Because of that perfect price. Other jewelers, they'll mark things way up just to mark it down in front of you, make you feel like you're getting some kind of deal. Oh, I got $500 off. Yeah, guess what? They still made out another $2,000. And $500, nothing. You won nothing. So just go into the place that you know you're going to get treated perfect with the perfect price every single day. Steven Singer Jewelers, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right there in Philadelphia. Every single day you get taken care of. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and start out at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com, where you can look at all their beautiful, sparkling, gorgeous inventory, and you can make an appointment to go in and actually check out all the merchandise right there in person as well. But you always get fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. One place, one price, the perfect price every single day. IHateStevenSinger.com. Let's get to now. I've known Natalie Egenoff for like almost 15 years. So we go way back. Always enjoy talking to her. Always enjoy catching up with her. We always like talking football, obviously. We always like talking hockey. We always like talking Wayne's World. Real quick before I get to her, Flyers lost again last night. 6 in a row. Claude Giroux's an all-star, though. So there you go. Flyers could take advantage of really many of their opportunities against the Bruins last night. We'll get into more of that in our morning rush. But without further ado, let's jump on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line and talk to our good friend, Natalie Egenoff. All right, folks, here we go. So normally I start this off by saying on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, our good friend Natalie Egenoff joins us. Hi, Natalie. How are you?
Oh, hi, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So let me just let the people in behind the curtain for a second. We just talked for like an hour already, but now we'll talk about sports.
Yes.
Well, because we're friends. We were catching up a bit. We got people not seeing people.
Lots to talk about. Lots of life. Lots of love. Congrats. You're almost, I'm sure you talked about it on your show.
Mm-hmm.
About it, right?
Yeah. The kids do. Yeah. Father of two, soon to be.
I knew Mark when he was a young tyke back in his early radio days, and look at him now.
And I did not have the handlebar mustache. You always say I had a handlebar mustache when you came into my office, and technically I hired you at WIP to be on the promotions team as I was the promotions director, but it was a full goatee. I didn't shave the handlebar until the following morning, right before Wing Bowl.
Well, maybe that it just scarred me for life, and that's why I remember that.
It's tattooed on your brain.
It's tattooed on my brain. Yes, that's my first memory from working in sports talk radio is your handlebar mustache at Wing Bowl, which is already traumatizing enough for a 19-year-old.
Well, hold on. Technically, your first memory of me would be my awesome office.
Yes, that's true. Frank Sinatra posters, whole nine. I thought you were going to be 65 years old when you walked in.
Yeah. Speak of our man. Doesn't he look amazing? He looks amazing, doesn't he?
Did you see that there's they just put a statue in Hoboken?
Oh, yeah, up in Hobo. Yeah. They put a statue of him up there. Yeah, because that's where
I have to get up there to visit it.
We got to make our pilgrimage.
Yes, the pilgrimage to go, and I will. Is it offensive if I say I will lay spaghetti at his feet? Is that offensive?
I absolve you. I have the power.
What do Italians bring each other as gifts of finest wheat, if you will?
No, you just bring a nice Panettone. That's it. Nice Panettone. You drop it right there. Nice bottle of wine. You're fine.
Locatella.
Locatelli. Sweet Jesus.
I'm Irish, okay? I'll bring him a potato.
See, when I said I was going to hit record, we were going to talk about sports. Anyway.
We're talking about sports. We're getting there.
Anyway, this is the problem when you interview your friends. Anyway, Natalie Egenoff, once again, ladies and gentlemen. So here's the deal. Here's what I got for you. All right, here's the first question. Here's the first sports question. Watching the Philadelphia Eagles this year, what has been, I've asked a lot of people this question, I want to get your take. What is the most impressive thing about this Eagles season?
I think, honestly, the accountability factor. And I really do, and I mean, I was hard on him all year. I do like the way Nick Sirianni has handled himself in his first year with all the scrutiny for all the crazy things he said, kind of making those adjustments, owning up to his mistakes. He really just, I think, tried to embrace the city. And I think that for a first-year coach, that was a very wise move. I think sometimes he went a little too far, but I think overall, he was able to get the city and the fans to hang through the season with him. I didn't think anybody was really, really ever they were totally out on him, but not quite. And then as the season went on, you're kind of this guy's figuring it out along the way. So that's what's impressed me the most, I think.
I will say, I definitely used the line during the season that Nick Sirianni was learning on the job.
Yes.
He learned quick. I give him that credit. He didn't take a full year of a botched season. He took 7 games, really.
No, it took, and you kind of saw it, and you could hear it, in his press conferences when he would talk and he would say, I'm seeing these things and I'm learning as I'm going along. And then even, Jonathan Gannon, the way that he kind of started the season, it even seemed like he started to figure it out at the end. So it's you kind of saw the team come together to win. And then now they're playing Tom Brady on Sunday.
Is there anything that I know everyone wants to beat Tom Brady, but being that the Eagles have done it in the Super Bowl, and they lost to him one time too, but nobody remembers. That was a million years ago. Tom Brady was 17 when he beat the Eagles in that Super Bowl. So actually he was 26 and 27. But anyway, when I go back and I look at it, Philadelphia just really embraces the idea of beating Tom Brady. And I think it has to go down to not just the Super Bowl the Eagles beat him in, but the fact that he dropped a pass, Nick Foles caught a touchdown pass, and then he snubbed Nick Foles at the end of the game by not shaking his hand. That's why I think Philadelphia really enjoys beating Tom Brady.
Oh, well, yeah. And, as Philadelphia, and they're underdogs this weekend, Bucs are going in the favorites. They underdog, and I hate to use that term, right? It brings us right back to 2018. However, it's who we are. It's part of our identity, the whole Rocky complex. I wrote an article on it once. I feel like that's why we love, kind of taking down the greats in anything, whether it's in football or basketball. It's always that extra, energy when you know that you're playing the greatest at the game.
Mhm.
So beating him, it's like a badge of honor for us, because it's like, oh, well, the Eagles beat him, so Philadelphia beat something great. I feel like that's why, especially when it comes to Tom, because very few have done so. So the fact that we never really got a chance to with anybody, we never won a Super Bowl. And then not only do we win a Super Bowl, we beat the greatest of all time. And then here we are still in it with them later. It's like, it's still always going to have that meaning, even though we beat them in 2018.
Mhm. No, I know Jonathan Gannon hasn't been aggressive, and I know we love an aggressive defense, but really it comes down to, I think, the interior line play. Do you see Fletcher Cox having himself a good game?
He has to at this point. He's been he's been solid, but he hasn't been consistent as he has in the past. He's faced a lot of scrutiny, I think, more than he has in previous seasons, and he's definitely aging, and which is why the defense makes me nervous. You're looking at a veteran squad, whereas he's not the Fletcher Cox that we saw against Tom Brady in 2018, right? He's 3.5 years older now. We were watching him, not be as sharp and, kind of missing a step on the interior. And that's what does concern me. And because Tom is so laser focused, is the defense going to be quick enough to, to get to him, or even attempt to get to him before he even gets the ball out?
Mm-hmm. I want to move it over to the offensive side of the football, talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. I asked you about overall what's impressed you the most. You told me about accountability and Nick Sirianni. When you look at Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, what's impressed you about his year?
I love how his work ethic, his kind of his mentality, again, how he handled the year, I think, with grace. Really, I'm impressed with his. It seems as though he has decided or figured out, I think towards the latter of the season, really how to make those quick decisions, where I feel like earlier in the season, he also was a step and a half behind, where I felt like he was kind of sacrificing the ball or not quite making the plays that he needed to, not quite finding the receivers in the routes, because it looked like he was overthinking it sometimes. And I think that because he's such a versatile quarterback, right? Because he can run the ball and he can pass the ball. I think that there was some hesitation earlier in the season. And I think that what we've seen as the season goes on is, I think he's reading the field better. So he's able to execute and make better decisions, when it comes time for him to make them on the field.
Mm-hmm. I got to talk about the guy he took over for really at the end of last year in his 4 starts, Carson Wentz. It appears the Indianapolis Colts are already sick of Carson Wentz. Their GM came out yesterday and had a little talk saying that he couldn't confirm or deny whether or not any player was going to come back when he was asked about Carson Wentz. Why do you think it didn't work out here in Philly, and why do you think it's not working out again in Indianapolis?
Because he's cursed, maybe. I mean, no. I seriously, when I watched,
at this point, he's just cursed. He's cursed.
When all that stuff went down over the weekend, I'm like, this guy's just cursed. Like I don't know what happened to him, or if the reports are true that he is kind of just like this guy that everybody can't vibe with.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be it, because I mean, you'd at least think that they would try and keep him on in some capacity, right? But the Colts are like, it's indicating, no, we don't want anything to do with him.
Whew.
Which maybe he is the diva that they always said that he was. I mean, I don't know. It's just because I really thought, look, the relationship in Philadelphia got so toxic, he had to go somewhere else. Indianapolis seemed like the right fit for him, but he just can't handle. I mean, he's overthinking it, he chokes. That's it. He overthinks and he chokes, and it's sad. And I think it's like, again, it's kind of like one of those like Ben Simmons situations. That's what it seems like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he suffers from it, like Ben suffers from it. It seems to be this like mental block that there's no, like, they can't like execute. It just like, he just like forgets how to play.
Entitlement beyond the point of reeling back in.
Especially when you're so good your entire life.
That
right?
just came to me.
But I mean, I think that, and we've talked about this with, Carson Wentz and Ben Simmons forever. It's when you're so good at something your entire life and you're told that you're the greatest your entire life and you win championships and, you kind of have an easy go of it. When you face adversity, there's people who can bounce back from it and there's people who can't. For whatever reason, gives them this mental block. And then it's a shame because I still always felt that Carson had that potential. Even after he left the Eagles, I was like, you know what? He just needs a clean break, a fresh start, the Nick Foles thing. And there was a lot of like noise here. But it's a shame. I mean, you don't want to see that. I know he did a lot of good for Philadelphia, and I was actually stunned. But again, nothing surprises me in the NFL anymore. Like the fact that like Tom Brady is still just as good. It's nothing. It's 2022, but still like 2002.
No, I get you. I get you. Do the Eagles win on Sunday? They're going to beat the Bucs?
Yes.
You liar.
Go Eagles.
Do you think they'll cover? What do we got? 8.5? You think they'll cover?
No.
Oh man, look at you. When did you become a pessimist?
When, Mark?
It's an event.
I was born in Northeast Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Miss Cusi. Anybody
no, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good experience, for the Eagles, for Jalen Hurts. I mean, I like to daydream and go in my mind to a place where they win, but realistically, I don't know if they're quite there yet. 40 to like 14. What are we thinking? No, I was thinking like, I don't know, like 21, 32.
You're trying to skew it to sound more optimistic. No, I think anyone who's crossed Roosevelt Boulevard more than 1,000 times in their life is just, it has to be a pessimistic outlook. Yeah, not even pessimistic, just trying to be real, right? Just trying to be real. That's all it is. All right.
Yeah,
now,
no, I mean, I can. I mean, I can at this point.
Natalie, the last time you were on the show, which was actually just before football season, just before we got the new set, by the way. You didn't mention it, but that's fine. We played a little game. We played a little game called Complete the Quote with our favorite movie in the history of movies, Wayne's World, which won, I believe the proper term is a slew of Academy Awards. Yeah. Do you want to play round two?
They swept the Academy Awards. Yeah. Yes, I'd love to play round two.
Cinematography. Okay, now complete the quote. Now I do have one little caveat. There's one Wayne's World 2 question. I spiced it up a little bit. And then there's actually two. Yes, there's two actual trivia questions, not quotes.
Okay.
Not quotes.
Okay.
But here we go. All right, you ready to play?
Yes.
Complete the quote. Round 2, Wayne's World with Natalie Egenoff. Here we go. First question. Complete the quote. I've had plenty of Joe jobs, but nothing I call a career. But I do have an extensive collection of
hairnets, name tags, and hairnets.
Look at you. Amazing. I almost called you. I almost got you out of there because you went to just the one thing first. But you got them both. You got them both. Okay.
Myself.
All right.
We're recording a little late here.
We're recording a little right. All right. We're 1 for 1. 1 for 1, or really 7 for 7, because I think you even got the bonus question last time. All right, here we go. Next one. I can't take it anymore. It's giving me a headache.
Have you tried? Oh, little. Nuprin. Little. Oh.
Come on. No. Little. Color? What color is Nuprin?
Yellow. Blue? Yellow.
Yes, no, you got it. Yellow.
Little.
All right, no. We're taking it. No. Nuprin. Little. Yellow. Different. There we go. Was pitching a perfect game. What was the other one? Oh, here we go. Stan Mikita's Donuts. This is a trivia question. Stan Mikita's Donuts, okay? Wayne opens the door, and there's a random group of people behind the door. What are the people doing?
Wait, is this 1 or 2?
This is 1. Wayne's World 1.
Oh, so we went back to 1. Oh, when he goes into the donut shop?
He goes into the donut shop, he opens up a door, and randomly there's people behind that door. What are those people doing?
Is it when they're... No, it's not. That's when Garth... Is that when Garth is killing the jelly donut?
That was worth having it on just right there. Now, the scene, they make up at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, Wayne's World spoiler, Wayne and Garth make up, and they go, what are you going to do? I don't know. I got to figure out a way to get Cassandra back. They walk towards the door. Wayne opens the door, and Garth goes, what are you going to do with all these guys? And Wayne says, I don't know. I just always wanted to open a door to where people were training like a James Bond movie. Last one.
I like how my takeaway from that scene is the jelly donut.
The natives thought it was the man's soul rising out of his body. Anyway, I messed that quote up. All right, here we go. All right, last one. This in itself is worth 6 points. So if you get this, you got them all right. Here you go. In perfect Cantonese, can you repeat the phrase that Wayne first says to Cassandra in her native tongue?
No. No.
You want me to give it a shot, and then you could translate?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Right.
Perfect Cantonese. Neholanga.
Wayne, you love Cantonese? Wayne, you know Cantonese?
Very good. You sound just like what was her name? It's not Cassandra.
And her name was Cassandra.
Cassandra. And then the other thing, her real name was Tia Carrere. Tia Carrere. I
love her.
How could you not? And also was phenomenal in True Lies. People forget that.
She's phenomenal. One of the greatest.
As far as I'm concerned, you got them all right. Natalie Egenoff, always great catching up with you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the realism when it surrounds this Philadelphia Eagles football team. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Marc.
You think you know a gal. That, she was perfect in the Wayne's World. Complete the quote. First time around. It was amazing. It was astonishing. I went next level with some of these, and she just, it wasn't her day. It wasn't her day. Not even a little bit when it came to Wayne's World quotes, folks. I think I saw some people in the chat talking about Wayne's World and how, what the hell's happening in the chat right now? Bald? But people say that it was a terrible movie, and it was. And then it's one of those things, Wayne's World 2, that I think about and I go, but they had some great moments. Like the whole idea of Wayne having to put on a concert. There's some great lines in that movie. Kevin Pollak playing the role of the quirky, one-eyed, what's it called? No, he had a second eye. He had two eyes. It was the one had no pigment, as he describes in the movie. The clerk at the city hall. It was a good. It wasn't a good movie, but it had good moments. I'll put it that way. But anyway, yeah. So Wayne's World 2. I think I cut out that answer. But anyway, thanks to Natalie Egenoff for joining the show. Always appreciate it. She is fantastic. And as I mentioned, one of my closest friends. And it's difficult to interview your friends sometimes. Let me tell you about the great people of Rothman Orthopaedics who bring us that fine guest line every single day. Rothman Orthopaedics. Remember the old you? The one that didn't have to put up with a fickle knee, a finicky hip, or a shoulder, that now no longer does what a shoulder should do? The Rothman approach to orthopedics is here to get you back to being you, back to running, walking, working, back to playing, back to living your life the way you want. With same-day appointments available, you can start today at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. Rothman Orthopaedics, the official orthopedic partner of your Phillies, Eagles, and Sixers. That's Rothman Orthopaedics. How about the amazing people of BetQL? Ooh, a lot of NFL action. Super wild card weekend. Who would have thought we'd ever see the day? If you want to get the advantage over your sportsbook this weekend, you need to download the BetQL app, the only app you'll need to make the smart bets. Their best bets computer model scans everything from over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you the best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports, and they give you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything from point spreads, over-unders, and player props. And if you don't want to use their model or prefer to do your own research, BetQL has all the necessary tools for your betting research needs. Sharp data, line movement, team summaries, lineups, injuries, breaking news. They even have a leaderboard for you to track your own success, and you'll have a lot of it when you use BetQL. Everything they got right there at BetQL. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download the BetQL app. How about the amazing people at WinView? Use BetQL, do your research, make a bet or a prediction on WinView. It's the only game where fans can take on other fans and end the debate once and for all. Who is the biggest sports fan? If you have those friends and family who think they know everything about sports, challenge them to a WinView contest and see if they can walk the walk as well as they talk the talk. If you want to break the monotony of family dinners and get-togethers, play a little quarter of some football action, maybe a little basketball, a little hoops, and see if you can beat out a friend or family member in a WinView contest. You're tracking the games on Sunday, or on Saturday, or even Monday night. Maybe you're not doing a great job in a playoff fantasy league you're in. Challenge a friend or family member to a WinView contest to have yourself a good time. It's not a sports book. It's not daily fantasy. It's a social gaming app where you can win real money prizes for making predictions on the games that you love so much. So make sure you handle your business with WinView and download the WinView app right now. How about PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs as well. PHLSportsStation.com. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. It's time for the chat check, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what everyone's got going on this fine morning. Luigi, how did I know? Weather girl Natalie? I'm not asking Natalie to be our weather girl. I will say though, Luigi, I don't want to overhype your weekend, okay? But I did have somebody reach out to me, an old friend from those Wing Bowl days that Natalie and I were just referencing. And this guy, he owns a promo model company. And he was like, hey, I want to see if we can get some girls involved in your show. And I was like, well, okay. Twist my arm. And sure enough, he might be willing to send a girl or two over to us in the weather girl sense. So there you go. We might actually be doing that. How about that? Always thinking of you, Luigi. Always thinking of you. Dan Schwartz, good morning. Good to be back. Good to have you back. Rob, welcome. April, good morning. Yay, Natalie, she's awesome. Yes, she is awesome. Dan, hello. Excuse me, sir. Do you have any Grey Poupon? What? Oh, Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Yes, of course. Idiot. And I believe the line, Dan, is, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? And they laugh. Anyway, April, the gun rack scene in Wayne's World is one of my all-time favorite things. And by the way, I can't help on like a holiday, like anytime somebody gives me a present. So let's just say Christmas. Every time they give me the present, I look at them and I look at them in their cold, dead eyes, and I go, if it's a severed head, I'm going to be very upset. And like, I gauge their reaction, and it's like, if they laugh, then we're friends. If they don't, my wife never does. And I'm like, I don't know about you. I don't know about you. What am I going to do with a gun rack? Anyway, Dan, hello again. John Cheeseborough, what's going on? T-Bro, what's up, T-Bro? Nice to have you. Everyone should wear Brandon Graham masks. Dan Schwartz is a great idea. It's not about getting to the, Tom Brady. It's about keeping him off the field. Long offensive drives is key. Run the football, baby. Run the football. T-Bro, you're exactly right. Jacob, what's going on? John, I believe Gannon will stick to his soft zone because he's afraid of Brady beating him deep. I could not agree more. That's why it's going to come down to Fletcher Cox and how well he plays with the rest of that defensive line. Kevin, good morning. Nice to have you. Luigi, hello again. What are your predictions for Sunday? For real, everybody. Wow. Dak. Taking it way back. Ken Fallacial Friday. That was a good bit. I give Josh Innes all the credit in the world for that because it was his idea. That was a great bit. My prediction, pain. John Cheeseman, Jonathan Gannon has to be aggressive at the right time and creative whenever he sends pressure. He can't allow Brady to be comfortable. And they have to at least hit Brady because he hates getting hit. I agree. Dan says, hey, Luigi, rainy and windy in Tampa. That's my prediction. All right. Mally, what's up, Mally? Nice to have you. Jacob, what's going on? Rick, hello. Dan, too early to pay that close attention. Jacob, you could be JC. I'll be behind you. What the hell's going on now? As soon as I see JC, I'm ready to respond. Luigi, Dan, Mally. Oh, boy. Here we go. Okay. John's got isms today. Apparently, I'm the subject of isms until we get a longer Farzy show. He'll start it off. Mally, I thought we were getting a weather girl today. Then I see it's just Nat. What the? John Cheesebro, if Farzy doesn't give us a longer show, I'll send Mike Sealski to his house to babysit him personally. Okay. April, Mally, not just Nat. That's funny. Mally, if Farzy doesn't give a longer show, I'll have PJ do all Marc's shopping from Wayfair. All right, come on. We're already going to have a house full of kids. What the hell? If Farzy doesn't give us a longer show, this is from John. Mike Sealski, I'll send Mike Sealski to read his book in its entirety. Read his book to him in his entirety. The issue is it'll be Sealski reading the book. Mally's laughing at April. Dan says, Farzy in the AM, as sweet as smoking your first blunt at Kids Castle. Wow. You know, a little while back, my nephew had his party at his birthday party at Kids Castle. And, like, there was a smell of ganj. I could detect ganj. Not on my nephew. But, like, in the park, somebody came to the park to smoke up at some point. It was shortly before I arrived. Who's betting money on the Eagles? Not me. Oh, actually, I'll throw a couple of bucks down. 8.5 points still. I'll still throw a couple of bucks at the Eagles. Why not see if they cover? Dan, you're not a degenerate. You're a modern-day sports fan is what you are. Mally, if Farzy doesn't give us a longer show, I'll JD Drew sign a 10-day contract. Okay. Oh, not JD Drew, says April. Wow, what a crazy thing that was. Philly Jackson. What's up, Philly Jackson? Upset alert this Sunday. Love the attitude, Philly Jackson. John Tudor, if Farzy doesn't give us a longer show, I hope Farzy's next round of chicken wings are scrawny and shouldn't even be considered wings. John, how dare you, sir? How dare you, sir? If Farzy doesn't give us a longer show, all we're going to have to do is look at CT's thumbs. What the hell? Such a lovely, beautiful woman. Angelic, even. April, JC, flat or drums? Very hot topic. Very, very hot topic. Flats or drumsticks with the wings? I got to say, I enjoy flats over the drumstick. And the reason being is that I enjoy like a crunchy, crispy wing. And I find you get more crunch to bite factor with the thinner flat, with the thinner wing. But the thing that's so great about the drumstick is that big meaty bite right there. It's delicious. But I enjoy the crunch factor. If Farzy doesn't extend the show, Ben Simmons will be here for life. That may actually happen regardless, says Dan Schwartz. Let's see what else we got with you wonderful, lovely people. If Farzy doesn't give us a longer show, I bet every time he closes his eyes, he sees JJ's finger in Cecily Thomas. Sweet baby Jesus. Late morning, everyone. Sean, good morning. Nice to have you on. Oh, don't reference the twerking penguin. It's still here, folks. You don't want that. You don't want that smoke. Oh, we got 2 twerking penguins. We got. You're welcome. Sean, Brady didn't even shake Foles' hand in Chicago. You damn right he didn't. Hopefully that penguin went out with Christmas. Sorry, April. It was right there. Ha ha. By the way, we hated our Christmas tree this year. We bought it in a rush. I went more for the experience with my cousins. We go to this great Christmas tree farm. They have every beautiful tree you can imagine. And the one we picked out, we were just like, I don't know what the hell our problem was, but we just were too distracted. Brady is a baby back. I want my baby back. All right. Wow. Luigi, you actually managed to spell out bitch without getting interrupted. That's amazing. Like, what I mean is he spelled B-I-T-C-H, like in the column. No coffee, no poop. What? If I could, would you? Welcome in. Philly fans should bring a bunch of deflated footballs to Tampa. Sean, why not? Speaking of language, Dan, if Farzy doesn't extend the show, Antonio Brown is going to rip his pants off instead next time and throw them into the crowd. I was waiting for him when he had that little tirade to just throw his pants into the crowd. Don't let PJ ruin your fun. What the hell? Cecil, what's going on? Benny, hello. I like this Mike Sealski. Mike Sealski! Yes, in capitals. Did he have hair? What? Oh, yeah, I had hair. When Natalie and I first met, yeah, I had a full head of luscious, beautiful, dark brown hair and a goatee. I swear, I did not have the Fu Manchu, the handlebars, until Wing Bowl morning. And then I had to host an after party, which I forgot about when I was shaving. I had to host an after party with the handlebars. And then I got on a flight to Tampa, as a matter of fact, because I was working the Super Bowl it was the San Antonio Holmes corner of the end zone Super Bowl. John Cheesebro, if Farzy doesn't give us a longer show, I hope his next trip to the pretzel factory involves pretzels that have been in the warmer too long and they've become crunchy. Oh, too late. I just told you I love crunchy. Love crunch factor. April, a week from tomorrow, I'll be stopping at a Wawa. Can't wait. There you go, April. Welcome home. Let's see. Did I miss anybody here? I think I got at least one from everybody. Mally. Ronald, what's going on, Ronald? If I didn't get you yet. All right, I'm going to have to take my time with this one. Cecil, if Farzy doesn't extend the show for a second hour, he has to bottle feed and burp John McMullen as John McMullen sits on his lap. Sean, Carson Wentz can't get out of his own head. He thinks he's actual Superman. Sean, I couldn't agree more. Julian, what's going on? Benny, you guys are out of your damn minds. Farzy is a little freaky? How the hell am I a little freaky? What'd I do? Mally, Tobias Harris said the length of Farzi's show is like his game. Short. I see what you did there. Very creative. I like it. Why are you guys ripping on John? Too funny. You guys are hilarious. Farzy and crew, good morning. What's up, Al? Nice to have you. Benny, hello again. Bald. What's with the bald things? Why is that a bald? What do you guys think Farzy sleeps in? Oh, sleeps in. Jesus. I'm thinking sleep in, which obviously doesn't have. I feel like he wears an actual pajama set. You guys not big on a lot of clothes when I sleep. I'll just say that. Not big on a lot of clothes when I sleep. Bare minimum. That's all you need to know. Farzy wearing pajamas. I do enjoy a robe. I'll say that. I do enjoy a robe when I get up. I'm just in boxer briefs. That's how I sleep. Why the hell am I being so coy about that? There you go. Well, there we go. Oh boy, who put the quarter in? Marc, hello, nice to see you. Who put the quarter in, Josh, when you were talking about King of Queens or anything like that? Boy, oh boy. Thanks for everyone that participated in the chat. You guys are fantastic as per usual. Thank you so much. Let's get into our morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars and SkyMotorcars.com. 76ers back in the hardwood tonight against the Boston Celtics. They are hosting the Celtics, 21-21 Boston Celtics. Sixers, against their 7-game winning streak, are now 23-17. They are coming off an unfortunate loss against the Charlotte Hornets, a game where they could not match the Hornets' intensity. Joel Embiid still was able to get his 8th straight, a 30-point game. Hopefully he keeps that streak going tonight. But more importantly, hopefully the Sixers win this game against the Boston Celtics as they're hosting the Celtics tonight for a 7 o'clock tip-off. Flyers back in action tomorrow night after losing to the Bruins last night. Flyers lost last night 3-2. Now they have the Rangers, 7 o'clock puck drop tomorrow night. I mentioned earlier, Claude Giroux is an all-star for the 7th time in his career. So congrats to El Capitan on that achievement. I'll say it one more time, folks. Let's make Tom Brady cringe. Coming up on Sunday, Fletcher Cox needs to dominate. Defensive line needs to do its job because you're not going to be rushing the passer as many times as you'd like to with Tom Brady, as many times people say you should, because the Eagles just can't get home. Second worst in the league in sacks. Can't give up the big play. Can't get burnt. Can't get burnt deep. Eagles have to be able to control the clock by running the football. Hopefully they're able to do that in this game. 8.5 points. I like the Eagles covering late, but I don't think it's doing much of a game. 31-24. Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Philadelphia Eagles. And we all look back on a season that a lot of people didn't see coming. And then we go into the next 6 months evaluating whether or not the Eagles are going to look at Jalen Hurts as a franchise quarterback, whether or not they're going to look at him as the guy for at least to be their starter next year, and what exactly he'll be long-term in the NFL. I think all that starts, well, Monday morning will be our reaction show. Tuesday morning will be so what does it all mean show. Wednesday will be like, all right, let's really break it down, see what we got. By the way, to help us break down everything, Monday, I'll go through the game and the post-game stuff as I always do. But Tuesday morning, we will be joined by the great Quentin Michael to help us break down the Philadelphia Eagles season from Inside the Birds, from Q&A as well. So make sure you guys check out everything that Quentin Michael's got going on. We also have some guests lined up to help us understand what took place throughout the Eagles season and what does it all mean going forward. So we'll make sure we keep on keeping you guys informed of all the guests that we'll have in the not too distant future. I don't think the Eagles win this game, but I think they'll cover. At least we'll have that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some money their way and take those 8.5 points. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My thanks to my friend Natalie Egenoff for jumping on the show. Jim Hyden produced the program, did a phenomenal job. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. My name is Marc Farzetta. Either way you look at it, go Birds, baby. Make Brady cringe. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you on Monday. See ya.